So I think this is a huge topic of discussion. What came to mind is slow is flow. When you're like rushing through things and multitasking and doing so many things at once, you're not in flow. You're in burnout mode. Like,
Yeah.
if you want to burn out, do that. And I'm actually reading a really amazing book right now. I just started. It's called In Praise of Slow, and it's got
Mm.
like the slow sign on it and then a little
Like that
turtle
title.
in the middle. Yeah, and he talks about how there's actually a slow movement. Did you guys know this? I'm really excited about this because I think I'm
What movement?
Slow
slow
movement.
to slow down. You know how there was like the
Yeah.
fast movement of speeding everything up through technology, fast food. So now there's and like getting so much done in a little amount of time. Now it's actually there's a whole movement to slow life down. And not surprisingly enough, Italy is on board with it the most. There's some towns in Italy that are specific
Oh, so
too slow. Although I know the Caribbean and there's a lot of Caribbean towns and just like the warm countries, they kind of tend to do things more slowly. But it doesn't, it says it's not about becoming like snail paced. It's not about that. It's about slowing down your mind. So even when things around you are happening fast, your internal state is slow, and that's when you can get into flow.
mm,
And by
um,
slow, I mean just like just being present to the moment. When you're present and you only have the thoughts that are pertaining to the present moment and not the thoughts that are about the future and the past, then like there's a lot that happens in the mind. There's like thousands and thousands of thoughts versus just like a select number of thoughts that can happen when you're in the present moment. So that's what I mean partly when I say slowing down.
mm.
Yeah.
So just to piggyback on what you're sharing, so this week I've been enamored with Mr. Chase Hughes's work and his behavioral ops manual. Um, Made a podcast explaining this. If you guys are interested in it, if you're in sales or influence at all, I created a podcast using my AI tools to understand this information better. The two things that he talks about most to having more influence, more authority in the world is first a clean house. So, like, how orderly is my place? And then, secondly, is how slow am I blinking? So, to imagine not going any faster, any of the herky jerky movements, as opposed to moving through like a pool. So, if you watch people who are high status, have high control of the nervous system, they move slowly and people take notice because the calmer the person is, the more access to influence we give them because deep down like that must be the leader. So Jake, how have you noticed in martial arts and yoga and those things slowing down? How does that actually dilate the things that you're doing?
Well, I like the idea of slow is smooth and smooth is fast, so that somebody who is in an Olympic level or a professional NBA level, what is seems fast for us, their nervous system is more in a groove. Um, I I have a background in psychology. Psychology was my undergrad, and I'm particularly fascinated with the stories that we tell ourselves. Magdalena was talking about present, past, and future, and flow is very much a present state of mind. But when we get out of flow, we future attach, or we will rerun things from the past. So future is imagination, past is memory. And there are usually about 3 or 4 stories that we can tell in either future or past states. And they're very simple. They involve ourself, and they would involve moving towards something.
Hmm.
On a positive frame, that could be purpose. On a negative side, that would mean too busy doing what you're doing, rushing around all the time. We could also be moving away from something. So this is that fear, desire dynamic. We can also resist things. So moving towards something is a story, and there are so many iterations of this. Moving away from something. Oh, I got to get away from this job. I got to get away from my boss. I got to get away from my coworker. Resisting. Oh, how can I do better than or beat or defeat this person? Or how did this person get the better of me, and how am I going to get back? So there are these future, past, present. But the fourth story that I like because it ties in with your blinking, aspect, Brian, which is something we can tune into right away. And Magdalena, that ties in with your slow moving. The fourth option is stillness. And
Mm.
stillness from a point of receptivity, not from a point of freezing because we're scared, but just slowing down to take in the environment, and that changes the story, and it changes the nervous system. So we can talk about physiology, but we can also talk about the stories that we tell. And I find that can be super helpful.